Well, good evening to you. Welcome to All Night Jazz. The program will be about an hour long this morning. It'll consist of a special interview taped November 26th of this year, an interview with guitarist Larry Coryell. That's the word, Larry Coryell and Don Sebesky and the Jazz Rock Syndrome. And we have with us tonight a singer by the name of Larry Coryell. He also plays a little guitar on the side. Isn't that right?
Yeah, actually, I play guitar better than I sing. Some people say Tim Hardin told me I shouldn't sing because I play guitar too good. But I like to do both very much.
Well, I never knew you sang until I came to hear you at the Trident.
Yeah, you never knew?
Because you've never done anything on any of your records with Gary Burton.
Yeah, most of the stuff I've done on records has just been instrumental.
Did you sing it all on the Free Spirits
album? Yeah, I sang a lot. I sang
on it?
Yeah.
Well, see, I never got a hold of that album, which explains why I didn't think you were a singer.
Well, I like to sing.
You like to sing? How long have you been singing, Larry?
Well, I just remember singing when I was just a little kid. I always sang. You know, I sang in church and stuff like that. I just sang a lot. You know, I sang rock and roll songs. I used to be in a rock and roll band. I wasn't mainly a singer, but I just sang along with. I just sang along with the cats. You know.
How'd you like doing this thing with Sebesky?
Well, it was just a record date to me.
Really?
They just called me up and said, come in and play, and I said, okay, and I just went in and played, and I enjoyed it very much.
Was the whole band there, or was
Yeah,
like
we did the whole we did the whole thing together there. They overdubbed some stuff later on. I think they overdubbed the hand clapping and all that.
I mean, there wasn't all that excitement when it went down.
No, it wasn't all that exciting. No.
It sounds good though. Sounds great.
It was fun. I had a ball doing it.
Yeah. You've been doing some stuff with Steve Marcus.
I did 2 albums with Steve Marcus. We're like neighbors. We lived together in the same part of New York City, and we're just good friends. And we started to get together and play in between all the other stuff that we were doing. You know, like he was working with somebody else, and I was working with somebody else, and we'd get together and play and rehearse material for his upcoming record dates. And we really didn't do too much playing in public. It was mostly a recording experience for me, and I like the way Steve plays, and I like him as a person, and I like the way he brought out the music out of Chris and Bobby and Mike Knock. And I really enjoyed those albums a lot. They gave me a chance to play another kind of music that I wasn't able to play in the group that I was in, and that was good. It was very therapeutic.
In other words, it lets you do more rock.
Yeah, I'd put on some light gauge strings and really bend and play all the Jimi Hendrix licks I could think of.
Well, when I saw you in New York at the Scene,
yeah,
you know what it was?
Yeah, I remember that. That was a very hectic night.
It was. That's why I was really amazed that you sing, because I figured if there was any kind of situation in which you'd sing, you would have done it then. Because it was a rock club.
I wanted to sing, but it was mainly an instrumental group, and I didn't feel it necessary to sing. I just figured, I'd have my own group soon enough, and I'd do some singing there.
On this thing, Ooh Baby, that you just sang at the Trident, there's no singing on the track with Steve Marcus.
No, well, it was Steve's album. Yeah, it was Steve's album, so he did it instrumentally, but Chris wrote it for the vocal. For the vocal, and the vocal is very groovy. You just heard us do it.
Right. Bobby Moses is playing drums with you, right?
That's right, Bobby Moses.
And Chris Hills with the bass, and he wrote this song, huh? Ooh Baby.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve Marcus and Larry Coryell and Chris Hills and
You're
Bobby Moses.
You're gonna play this record now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Beautiful. Ooh Baby.
that's a pretty wild thing. That's rock and roll. Most people don't get to hear too much rock and roll by you.
Yeah, well, I'm getting more and more into that direction.
You think you're going away from jazz?
With my own group. I don't know. I really couldn't tell. I'm just going towards music, whatever kind of music it happens to be. I tend more towards rock and roll sounding songs, but I still think of myself as a jazz player.
Mm-hmm. Well, on this thing, I noticed you did a lot of voicing. You seem to voice along. In other words, if you could really sing, you were singing through your guitar right along with your sax.
Yeah. Well, that's what I try to do with the electric guitars, to make it sing. That's what I think anybody should do with any instrument, is really make it sing and make it sound human and natural.
I hear a lot of Kenny Burrell, and maybe that's not nice to say, but I hear
that's fine, you know.
And Charlie Christian.
Well, that's an honorable compliment. That Charlie Christian, he was something else again.
Well,
he was, there will never be another Charlie Christian.
Who would you say was a major influence, if we had to ask a classic player?
Every guitar player I ever heard in my life was
really?
Played some kind of influence.
Well, say for jazz, like when you were.
To pick out the major ones, Jim Hall in Gary's group. I thought a lot about Jim Hall.
How about for country and western?
Just
there's a heck of a lot of
country and western music in general.
Just in general.
Gabor Szabo, some. I always admired his original approach. I dig Gabor a lot.
Probably the first album that got me going on Larry Coryell was called The Dealer with Chico Hamilton. Introducing Larry Coryell. And he played one thing on there which just flipped me out.
What was that?
It's called The Dealer.
Oh, yeah.
How long you been playing guitar, Larry?
About 12 years.
12 years? What got you started?
The ukulele.
The ukulele.
The ukulele and all of my cowboy heroes like Gene Autry and Roy Rogers.
From what, television?
From the movies. Where I lived, they didn't have television until I was much older.
Well, where'd you grow up?
Richland, Washington. That's in the Yakima Valley in southeastern Washington State.
And you lived there all your life?
I lived there until I was 17, I think, whenever it was that I graduated from high school. Then I moved to Seattle, Washington, and I stayed there for 4 years, going to college part of the time and getting my music together. And then I went to New York in '65, and that's where I live now, yeah.
Is that when you joined up with Gary Burton?
Joined Gary in '66, 66 and a half, I think. I was in New York quite a while before I met Gary.
What were you doing then?
I was playing with the Free Spirits.
Just a rock group?
Wasn't just a rock group. It was one of the most fantastic new music groups that had ever hit New York. It was just I couldn't seem to get my playing together in that group though, and I wanted to get into a group where I could get my playing together. And Gary's was a good choice.
So you stayed with him for almost 2 years?
Yeah. I think playing with Gary helped me round out my taste, my musical taste.
And then you decided to go off on your own?
Yeah, I had to do that. I got tired of not being a leader, so I wanted to try being a leader, and I'm out here now.
Now you're out here. Well, when you were back there, you did something on a live recording.
Yeah, that's
called
the Carnegie.
Lines.
Yeah, Lines. That was a good version of that.
You like that one?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of your compositions.
Yeah.
And the next one on there is
I wrote that in Mill Valley.
In Mill Valley?
Yeah. When we were working here at the Trident.
Just contemplating.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about all those lines.
All right. Walter L. is on here too.
Yeah, that's one of the best tunes Gary's ever written. It's a blues in the key of G, and it lays real nice on the guitar, and I really enjoy playing that.
You mentioned a while ago that you started guitar about 12 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the ukulele got you started.
Yeah, my grandmother sent me a ukulele for my birthday, and I had always wanted to mess around with a string instrument. I didn't enjoy my piano lessons, and
Why didn't you like piano?
I just wanted to go out and play football and stuff and hang out with the other cats, and I just fell in love with the guitar at a very early age, and when everybody else was out working on their cars and placing bets on the drag races, I was down in my little basement working on my scales and stuff.
Acoustic at that time?
No, I think I had an electric guitar. I was a real guitar freak. Once I got turned on to it, once I started seeing cats my age playing it and seeing how it was just something that really knocked me out. The guitar, especially the electric guitar. I just fell in love with guitars and guitar music.
What time period was that? Was that in the 50s with rock?
Yeah, it was. I'm 25, and it was like when Elvis was first getting big and everything like that.
And Little Willie John.
Yeah, and I was digging all that kind of music, and I would play those kind of songs. But I also was getting into jazz guitar music, and I liked a lot of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Barney Kessel, Tal Farlow, Johnny Smith.
Did you have much of a chance to hear that up in Washington, though?
Well, I heard the records. I had the records, and the records that I had were invaluable. I learned a lot of stuff.
Just a few records to really pick some nice things off of.
Yeah.
With records these days, and rock and roll or jazz groups, who really interests you?
Well, anything that sounds good to me interests me. I like Traffic a lot. I think they have a good, tight group. I like Miles Davis. They're very tight.
What do you think of his new album?
Oh, I think it's great. That song, Stuff, it knocks me out.
Uh-huh. He's really taking off on new things now.
Yeah, well, Miles is, he transcended that whole bebop thing, and he's, he's out of sight. He's something else again, Miles Davis. He's in a class all by himself.
I notice a strong parallel between what you're doing and Traffic. It was a very tight sound. I don't know how many people in Traffic now, but it's you guys are really sounding tight.
Yeah.
Moving together, and it's got that rock, and the bass. Your bass player.
Bass player's out of sight, isn't he?
He's really fine.
Yeah, my bass player.
Along.
He's also a very good guitar player. If I don't watch out, he's going to take over. He writes tunes and plays very well, and is a very strong musical force in my life.
You think this group will stay together for a while?
Well, I certainly hope so. The other two gentlemen in my group, Bobby Moses and Chris Hills, are quite capable of being leaders in their own right because they're both extremely strong. But I hope I can keep them together and working with me because we're all old friends and we seem to inspire each other a lot. We feel very comfortable playing with each other, and we also challenge each other a lot. This is the first time we've played together, actually, as a trio, Bobby and Chris and I, and it's a shame that all the reviewers had to come the first night, because to my way of thinking, the reviewers should come the last night of the gig, because it's really together then. If they want to hear something good, they ought to come the last night.
That's right. Well, Gleason made a reference that it was going to get together.
Yeah, I thought that was accurate, very accurate.
Give it time, and this interview takes place about the...
This is November 26th.
That's right, about 6 days before you close.
Mm-hmm. So are we going to play Sing Me Softly of the Blues?
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful tune. I just, when we were doing the Duster album, Gary said, what tunes did I want to play? And I didn't have any originals at the time, so I picked out this song of Carla Bley, and I just felt I felt it was just necessary to state the melody, and that would do it. And that's all I tried to do on this song, was play the melody, because it's quite beautiful.
That's a beautiful tune. I really like that. I think that's probably the nicest thing you ever recorded.
Well, thank you very much. My mother likes that too.
It's soulful.
Yeah.
It moves along. Speaking of recordings, you got some new things out, right?
Yeah, I got a multiple overdub tape that I made in New York City last summer.
A multiple overdub.
Yeah, we had a 12-track machine, and we just used the drums. Bobby just played drums, and I played the bass and all the guitar parts, and I sang. Yeah, we're going to play Larry Coryell, which is an instrumental dedicated to my wife, Julie, and Friday Night, which is a hearty rock number.
When is this expected to come out?
First of the year.
We won't say what label it is at this time.
No, we won't say what.
Well, it's been very nice talking to you, Larry.
Yeah, Dan, it's been beautiful.
I'm looking forward to
on both
hearing
coasts.
what this sounds like on this tape.
Yeah, I hope you dig it.
This will be your debut by yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
It's about time.
Well, it's nice talking to you.
Yeah, beautiful.
You have a nice, new, lovely wife.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I love my wife. Don't cut that out either, because I want her to get some credit.
All right, we'll give her some credit. Thank you very much for spending some time with us.
You're welcome.
For the past hour or so, you've been listening to a taped interview with singer Larry Coryell. He also plays a little bit of guitar on the side, as you heard there. Instead of playing 2 tunes from the new album, as announced on the tape, we decided to play 4. So we heard Lady Coryell, You Don't Know What Love Is, Sunday Telephone Blues, and finally, Friday Night. And those will all be coming out on Larry's new album, which should be out sometime in January. The interview was recorded over at the Trident Club over in Sausalito. It was recorded, I believe, on November 26th. This has been Dan McClosky. I hope you enjoyed the interview with guitarist Larry Coryell. I hope you enjoyed the music we played. Now I want to turn the controls over to one of our volunteer engineers, Beecher Rintoul, who was kind enough to come in and play the 2 tapes tonight. The program has been entirely pre-taped. So until next week, thanks for listening. Good night.